Well, today is Monday evening, December 11th, and we want to go over fractions and how we used one unit fraction and we were dividing it by a whole number. And so let's take a look at our first problem. It reads, Paul has 1/2 of a pan of brownies to share with 3 friends. What fraction of the pan of brownies will each person receive? So one of first things first is circle the 1/2 and underline of a pan of brownies, because that's the one thing that he does have. That's what he has on hand, his total amount. And he's going to share with 3 friends. So we need to make sure that we include Paul and 3 friends. So what do we have? Here's what we know. We need to, what does Paul have? He has 1/2 of a pan of brownies. That's the total amount. We would also say that this would be the dividend, because the dividend is the total number that he has. So that would be our dividend. Now he's going to end up dividing it out because he wants to divvy them up with 3 friends plus Paul. So how's it being shared? Shared with 3 friends plus Paul, which gives us a total of 4 total people, right? Okay, and now the question asks, what fraction of the pan of brownies will each person receive? So here I'm going to start my fill in the blank, where each person will receive blank of brownies. I'm going to include the a blank of a brownie. So each person's going to receive something part of that pan of brownies. What operation will we represent the sharing part? Well, if we have something that's total and we're going to divide those up into groups, so we're going to use division. Write a division sentence to represent what is being shared. I know that I must start with a dividend divided by, because this is my total number, divided by my divisor, which is the number of groups that I need to divide those up into. So this is a part to equal the quotient, which is the answer to a division problem, and it gives us another part. So here we will have groups, and how many are going to be in each of those groups. So that's what we're looking at. So then I'm going to come up here and look at my total. Well, I said that this would be my dividend because this is the total amount that I have. So I have 1/2 divided by, and I'm going to share it with 4 friends. And how many, that's what's going to be leaving me. So I'm going to draw a model to solve for my problem. So earlier when we were talking about fraction strips, we said that we're going to use a fraction strip of 1 whole as a benchmark to know that whatever we're doing, we're going to end up having X number of parts that will equal a whole. So in this particular case, I know that I'm starting off with 1/2. So I'm going to represent 1/2 this way. So this is 1/2. I'm going to draw a dotted line because this is my, if I wanted to make it a whole, I would have this portion here, and I know that 1/2 plus my 1/2 will equal this 1 whole. But I'm only going to be focused on here. So if I took just 1/2 of my whole, and I'm going to divide it up into 4 equal parts to share with friends, Okay, that wasn't equal. So I'm going to kind of white that part out because I needed it. Kind of actually did that a little bit. Somebody's going to have a lot more than other people. I just kind of want to get you. So I'm going to kind of start that part over. All right, let's kind of start that one over. I'm going to try to get them as equal as possible. So I'm going to use a red pen so that we can see my equal parts. So here's one. Kind of did the same thing again, but I'm going to leave it as it is. So now I have one person, two person, three person, four. So each of those people are going to receive a part. Now look at what happened. I went from one half to now four separate equal parts. And so if I were to carry this on to the very end, how many parts will I have here? Because again, I took my one half and I'm shrinking it, and now my parts got a little smaller. So if I carried this over, how many parts will then I have? I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll give me a total of 8 now equal parts, because 8 over 8 equals 1 whole. And so now I'm taking my 2 parts, divided those up, gives me a total of 8 equal parts. Now I'm only looking at this part, so if this was 8 equal parts, this will then equal to 1/8, because this is 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, which would give me that total half, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. So each person will then receive 1/8 part. So how much for one person? Each person will receive 1/8 of the pan of brownies. Okay, and so there you go, 1/8, and that's how we'll show it. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next problem. Now we're going over to problem 2. Now let's look at problem 2. And here's 2. Jessica has 1/3 of a pan of brownies to share with 2 friends. She's going to share with 2 friends. What fraction of the pan of brownies will each person receive? So what does Jessica have? She has 1/3 of a pan of brownies. How is it being shared? Okay, so it's being shared by, it's going to be shared with Jessica and 2 friends. So it gives a total of 3 people. What operation represents the sharing? Again, here we're taking 1/3 of a pan and we want to divide those up or divvy them up between 3 total people. So I'm going to have 1/3. Oops, I'm going to cross that out because the operation we need is to divide. Let me go back over here. So we have Jessica. I wanted to circle that one with her 2 friends, showing that here. And then let's look at our question. It says, what fraction of the pan of brownies will each person receive? And again, we're going to rephrase that. Each person will receive blank of the pan of brownies. Get it? All right, write a division problem to represent what is being shared. Again, the total amount of brownies that we have right now is 1/3. That's our dividend. And anytime that we are writing a division problem, we always have our dividend divided by our, that's right, divisor, which will equal our quotient. And so to fill in the blanks, oops, thanks for catching that, dividend. So we have 1/3 divided by, and how many friends are we total? 2 friends plus Jessica. My brain is going faster than my hand. It's Jessica, so it makes it 3 people. And this is what our equation would be. That's that 1/3 pan that I have only. And I'm going to divide that up into 3 people, or 3 parts, equal parts, because that's the number of people that are going to be eating it. So now I'm going to draw my model. And now what fraction am I going to use? I'm drawing my 1 whole to represent that there's 1 whole. Okay, and then I'm also going to take my fractions, and I'm only actually using 1/3 of it, and I'm going to represent my 1/3. I'm going to draw my dotted lines, and it's like, you know what? I know that there's 3 equal parts. So this would be 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. There's 3 equal parts to a whole, but I'm only using this one section. So it told me I needed to divide it for 3 people. So here's Jessica, 1 friend, and 2 friends. Well, if I continued, what size fraction will then this be? So I'm going to shade this part here because we want to know for each person. What is this size now? We went from a larger to now a smaller. Yes, because let's pretend like we're going to continue here. Because if we had 2/3, it would be that. So now it's 1 part, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this here, my denominator, my new denominator will be 9, because this gives me the total number of equal parts in the whole. Okay? So now if this is 9, the value of this 1 part is 1/9, because then this would be 2/9, 3/9, 4/9, 5/9, 6/9, 7/8, 9, 7/8, 8/9, and 9/9. And so each part is 1/9. So how much for one person? Absolutely right. So here, I know that I'm going to have, let me bring this down, 1/9 of the pan of brownies go to each person. So each person will receive 1/9 of the pan of brownies. Okay? And now we've divided it. So this could be Jessica. This is 1 friend and 2 friends. So I'll just label Jessica so that you can see it. This is 1 friend, and this is another friend.